Let me upgrade. Traded out the Adonis for a Diem.
What is this guy, deaf?
Yes.
Jesus.
He needed a little wake-up call today.
My God.
Diem has joined me for our final
My Lord.
European match. It'll be Cringe Crew taking on Deathiance, taking on Dignitas, but it won't be the Cringe Crew that you know and love. Zashu will be sitting out for this week and possibly many weeks in the future.
His 5th offense nets him a 1-year removal from the game. That is not a complete competitive removal.
Right.
Our rules read that after 1 week, he has the ability to appeal. We have seen successful appeals in the past. Mask got about 3 months off his sentence. Omega got back almost immediately. So if his appeal is all right and the admins accept it, there's a chance he can come back. But I would assume if I was Cringe Crew that I'd be moving forward in a different direction.
Yeah, basically 1 week for a 5th harassment offense, probably not, but I'm not an admin, so definitely can't speak to that regard. We'll see how his story unfolds week by week, but as you said, if I'm Cringe Crew, I'm preparing for something else. Soggy Sandal, their go-to sub, not available this week, so Coach Deathiance will have to step in, and it is time. Picks and bans. Let's head in. Cringe Crew, Dignitas, first pick to CC.
Man, yesterday I even said, this is my favorite team. I love the story behind this team. It's a bunch of kids. Repikas joins.
Yep.
They have a leader now. There's potential. And as a fan of this team, I'm kind of losing my footing.
I'm upset. Especially because not only did I notice it, but Zashu also noted himself as Cirquetus banned out, interestingly.
Okay.
Super Regionals was a big moment for him personally, and I feel like as commentators, we got to actually watch him mature in that one LAN.
Yeah.
And unfortunately pulls a, move like this, finds himself on the wrong side of the, not law, the TOS?
Law. Kepri, Odin, Cirquet, and Sol will be your bans in the first phase as Cringe Crew plus their coach Deathiance will elect for Chronos.
All right.
Flex pick among flex picks.
Yes, he can go mid. He can go Hunter. He can go solo-ish.
Jungle him, whatever, man.
Can you? I mean...
Nah, don't do that.
Can you?
Nah,
I mean...
Really. He can.
No,
he can.
Oh, Najah. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, this is a character... Yeah, we Kevin and I talked a lot about him last game in the sense that he is a god that is just underneath top pick material, but because all the players exist in our league are great Najah players, the player meta forces him to be a top pick.
Neith also very flexible, goes into solo, goes into mid, goes into duo. She just has great pressure on the map with that World Weaver. So they're starting off with a global and a major assassin, Cringe Crew, to answer back.
Hot yoga in the picks and bans. Everybody a little flexible. Janus, on the other hand, expected to go in the mid lane. Unless you're Divios, you don't really see him in the solo too much.
Likely puts Chronos into the hunter role.
Yep.
So assassin-wise, likely to be the run for the jungle. Athena, no, they're going to stick with their magical. They're going to save physical for their next phase. So it's going to be Athena likely playing support. Although this was Repikas' go-to god in Season 1.
Yes. Also could be found in the jungle. Very powerful in the jungle. Not for nothing. The changes to, I don't know if you want to go Doom Orb in the jungle, but Polynomicon, very attractive on Athena, recently changed. A lot of things making Athena jungle plausible again.
Raijin actually getting picked up over Isis.
Can you say that again?
Raijin?
Raijin.
Raijin.
I can't do it. I just sound angry. Raijin.
I can't do the Greek names. So. Raijin.
Thor banned out. Good choice. Repikas. Anybody, just ban out Thor.
I like that.
Just a one-size-fits-all ban.
I like that. Now, Bacchus getting taken away. That's a little bit more strange given the fact that Geb is still on the table.
Yeah, on the side of Dignitas, Suntouch plays a very, very good Bacchus.
That's true.
So last time around was gifted the, after virtually winning the game by himself in game number 1, got it respect ban in game number 2. Cringe Crew watched that, and they said, no Bacchus for you. So that'll be banned out right away. Bologna selected for the ban list on Team Dignitas. Last ban going to CC, and it'll be Zobek.
Okay, so I think this is a pretty easy Geb call here.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't assume why you wouldn't want Geb, especially into Athena. So I'm going to assume this is just Geb. I'm going to close my eyes, and we're going to start talking about Cringe Crew.
So, I mean, Suntouch makes it curious if it's going to be Geb or not. I like Suntouch on the aggressive supports, a la Trix Tank style.
I can't believe it's taking this long to pick.
For real.
This is Ares.
See? I like him on the aggressive gods, a la Trix Tank.
But against Chronos? Chronos doesn't care about Ares.
Against Janus, Brandon. Seriously, you can't walk through a portal when you're crippled.
I mean, I guess.
I have always liked Ares against Janus. Definitely a big deal. Also, not for nothing, it's hilarious when you get the ultimate on Athena, that ultimate's away, and then she comes all the way back. That's funny.
Fenrir going to be taken here. One more pick, likely to be their solo laners. Fenrir will more than likely be the jungle. They're looking for a little bit more frontline. I would assume we're going to see a warrior pick up here. Against this comp, I'm looking at maybe Osiris. It's going to be Vamana. Okay, that obvious, very obvious pick. Surprised I didn't call that one.
A lot of knockup, although tough time against Ares.
Yeah.
Amaterasu question mark? Would you have liked to see the Amaterasu here?
Wouldn't, not really.
Okay.
Not with the Chronos. He doesn't need the movement speed. Guan Yu, I think, was a pretty easy call. No way for Baby to really stop Tallow Assault. Yeah. Able to trade decently. Can deal with Fenrir, can deal with Athena. This is a good pick.
Yeah, I enjoy Team Dignitas' composition right now. You've got Neith and Naja for setup, pure setup. Raijin, we saw earlier what Pretty Prime was able to do off of a Naja ultimate with Vulcan. Raijin also brings the damage.
By the way, Pretty Prime not picking Vulcan in Game 2 was absurd to me.
Me too.
I mean, yes, he's comboing with the Nasha, and that's how things want to go, but, like, it's just a better version of Vulcan, which he wanted to play already, and he should have been playing it. I attribute most of their loss in Game 2 to the fact that he was not on Vulcan.
Well, either way, definitely a spill for Hunger for More. Deathiance is your stand-in player as Cringe Crew try to pick up the pieces that Zashu has left behind with his year-long competitive ban. Deathiance, the coach formerly behind the scenes, and side note, good personal friend of mine, will be playing in the solo lane on this Vamana. I love this skin.
I hate this skin.
I love this skin
so much.
It's so fun. It's just
disgusting.
so funny.
He's disgusting.
Why does it exist?
Exactly.
Which
it's
is hilarious.
Gross. He needs to use the blue baby. That's where all the victories are.
You and Eric love this blue baby.
He's the little blue baby.
He just looks like, you ever watch Willy Wonka, the original one that kind of scares you a little bit? He looks like the blueberry. The girl who eats the chewing gum.
He disagrees with us. Yeah. He really likes this.
Deathiance.
Did you see that weird camera movement?
Yeah.
How did he do that? That's so
Moved
strange.
His mouth a bunch.
No, but I would have ran out of space at that point. I've been slamming it into my keyboard.
So Cringe Crew opts to go for the back harpies instead of the mid harps, which will be taken by Dignitas. You and I have talked a lot about how much we like the mid harpy start. What dictates? Is it just early game comp versus non-early game comp? Why do you start at the back camps rather than the mids?
Just because you don't think you can win the fight.
Right.
They don't want to deal with FrostiaK's ring toss. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And if Deathiance doesn't want to take his dash, he doesn't really have a way otherwise to deal with Tallow Assault. So they give up mids a slight experience advantage for Guan Yu as he walks in. And then, of course, overall control is going to be given. They have to take this fight. Why are they going towards right side? Will we see a portal? They're going to let this go, and they're not going to even go for back camps? What is happening?
Cringe Crew. This is a lapse in judgment. It's because, you got to take that fight. Even if you don't, the rule of MOBAs in general, always be doing something. ABD, always be doing something, right? And if you're ever at a point where you're not doing anything, you're just falling far behind.
They could have gone to right backs. If they knew that right camp wasn't there, they could have went to right backs. They know that it's going to be there. They could have went for either one of the solo lane boars. They could have went into the camps. Even if they didn't think they were going to get it, they could have just sent some damage onto ShadowNightmare. They literally accomplished nothing for 15 seconds. And while in the end game, 15 seconds isn't that big of a deal, so long as you're in the general vicinity of your opponent, in the beginning of the game, that could be a death sentence.
I mean, it results in, if you want to look at tangible gold, it results in the difference of about 450 gold. Side note, 500 gold is first blood. So, I mean, it's not a small thing to just shake off. It's not going to end the game for Cringe Crew, but it's not a good look.
Look at it here, 4-4 versus 3-3, which means guaranteed they have a massive advantage because they either have a second level in their most damaging ability or they have all three of their abilities. This is just very, very strong.
Yeah. Solo lane, Deathiance getting the better of TheDarkDodo.
Still a surprise to me. FrostiaK in some trouble. Beautiful Mez by ShadowNightmare blocks it out.
No surprise there from ShadowNightmare, able to just use his character's kit very well. ShadowNightmare, in my personal opinion, definitely one of the more skilled players on the Dignitas roster.
You don't even have to say the roster. He is one of the most skilled mids worldwide, and always has been.
And it's, on a team like Dignitas that has struggled a little bit, you've always had ShadowNightmare as this constant, reliable, well-played individual.
Even when ShadowNightmare sucked as a player and was a super random back in before even Season 0 really started. This was weekly tournaments.
Sure.
He was playing Zeus when he was useless and Anubis, and he was still bodying people.
I remember that.
We're who the hell is this guy with this weird name? and like playing these dumb gods, and he's just destroying kids.
Yeah.
He has been one of the biggest mainstays in the European scene for so many years, and no matter what team he's on, they always seem to have some level of success.
Exactly. And you know, Dignitas, I was very harsh on them with my, you know, early game or preseason predictions and stuff, and I called them as number 8 in the league, but I always put the asterisk there. With a ShadowNightmare on the squad, you can never be too sure. And for what it's worth, Dignitas has surprised me with their solo and support play.
Oh, I don't like this at all. I mean, they're completely out of position here. Rens, I mean, they're committing so hard to this red buff. They do wind up taking it, but I imagine Suntouch should go down here, but for some reason, the committing is just weird and awkward, and the blue team is not grouping up efficiently. Cringe Crew really looks fragmented here, and you can't really blame that on Zashu because that was not the solo lane's job.
Yeah, I mean, these are the type of things that show you just how important every member is to a team. Like you said, not the solo lane's job. He's not even going to be there.
Oh, no. Repikas, really strange purification. We're going to get some taunts here, most likely. And yeah, Kero's going to go down. First blood to Dignitas. Trying for a return as Repikas just barely able to escape that chain.
Suntouch been able to do a lot of work with this Ares, whether it's lower the health of the opponent so that ShadowNightmare can get the first blood, or just control by way of cripple. Suntouch already making an impact on this game.
That was very strange to me. That entire engagement was very awkward.
That was, I mean, honestly, that was just very well played by FrostiaK. Goes in for the sash on the dog and clearly wants to ult him, but Repi purifies, so FrostiaK immediately switches targets.
Really smart situational awareness. Shaggyshenk in some trouble here. Good stun. Suntouch should have thrown the first chain out. That is not a 2-second stun. He would have gotten the slow. He would have gotten the cripple off. Not that that's super necessary, but the damage would have started ticking. And Rens really should have waited for Suntouch to hit that before going for the Spirit Arrow. They both kind of played a strange, frantic rush there. Neither of them will accomplish much as Shaggy lands a almost perfect stop time.
Now, Rens with this throwing dagger build is all the rage. It's, you know, the new black, whatever you want. I don't like it on Neith, Brandon.
Doesn't belong on Neith.
It does, like, Neith is an ability-based hunter.
They don't need them.
They're an ability-based hunter, and Neith, I mean, she clears well against Soul. How much more clear do you need? That's why people pick it up, right?
Yeah, the only reason you would ever have this on a Neith is, like, you're rolling dice.
Sure.
That's it. You're looking for those crits. And honestly, it's not worth it. If you're on Neith, if you're on Medusa, characters who don't need help clearing, you should be picking up Transcendence.
It just allows Neith her abilities to hit harder. I mean, I even argue that you can take it to the next level, build Transcendence and a Jotuns, because you're basically a mage at that point.
It's true.
But we see quite the exact opposite.
Sure. I like Chins.
Sure.
But once you get past Chins and you need that penetration, 10 pen's not the best, but extra World Weavers are definitely not a bad thing.
Different story when it was 11 pen instant buy.
Oh, right, of course. But 10, that's a question mark.
Got to question it this time. We'll return mid lane. ShadowNightmare doing his best to clear. And now, I want to point out how he's leveling his abilities. A lot of players recommend leveling the second ability for the Chain Lightning.
You know, when I'm playing the God on stream, a lot of people ask, hey, why do you level the 1? Aren't you supposed to level 2? And I'm like, I actually don't know.
Yeah, I mean, supposed to level the blank, always such an interesting statement. Fight? No, not going to happen. You know, a lot of times it comes down to situation, this, that, or a third. But yeah, interesting choice coming out from ShadowNightmare. We'll see how it works out.
FrostiaK dashing in as well. No one taking advantage of that either.
Nope. No turnaround. Now FrostiaK lives to see another day. Still has his diamond available. Can go for an ult if he chooses to. Opts to play it safe.
They're going to go right back for the red buff. They stole it the first time. Can we see them go for it again?
Yes.
This time Suntouch a little bit late on the rotation, but no one seems to be trying to defend this. It'll be a free steal.
Much different story than the first time. First time, you're a little testy. You're an early game everybody. But you're level 8 on Naja, Raijin, and Ares. I'm not touching that.
And now ShadowNightmare is actually level 9. Access to that level 2 ult. And they're going to go for it. A perfect ultimate coming out from Suntouch. Decent damage from ShadowNightmare as well. No kills just yet, but it looks like EmilZy. What? Double kill?
The double kill with the single ability. ShadowNightmare sending bad dreams to everyone on Cringe Crew.
And there's another one. Starting off strong is Dignitas.
Yeah.
FrostiaK taking a fair amount of damage. Deathiance might be able to find one at least. The new solo laner, the only one scoring points on the board. But it looks like he's going down as well late on the ultimate. And ShadowNightmare finds his, fourth kill on Raijin?
400. Bang, bang.
By the way, he's, 900 gold? No, I'm sorry. Wait, what? 1,300 gold over his opponent?
I mean, when you get a single kill, when you get a double kill with a single ability, there's no bonus gold for that, but there should be.
So, Deathiance right now is at 5k, actually keeping pace with the 4-kill ShadowNightmare, but everyone else is just, like, gone.
You know, sometimes when you're the coach, you just have to actually do it yourself, Brandon.
Yes.
Just get off the platform and just join the fray. That's really what happened.
Let's take a look. Let's run that back, man. I really want to see how that mesmerize at low damage, level 1 mesmerize kills 2 people.
I love it. He knows the move so well. You'll watch the ultimate come out, but watch the positioning. He hits on the pure radius, the front and the back. Watch.
Boom.
The front and the back. That's how he hits them. Not the middle of the just exacties. I think the second one was not as expected on his part.
And look, they get another kill onto Kero there, and then Deathiance is going to find a kill as FrostiaK overcommits. But, I mean, look how much damage he's taking under his own tower.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Where did his health go? I said a little bit too late on the baby. He wasn't too late. He did that exactly as he should have. There was just too much damage coming out of Raijin. You can't predict that.
That's the burst. That's the burst that this character is able to bring. Raijin brings the burst. And I mean, you talk about ShadowNightmare playing wonky gods. Raijin is a wonky god that the community has accepted for some reason.
Yeah.
I feel like if this god was introduced last year or the year before, he would be considered unplayable due to how unsafe he was.
Or if he was a thin character as opposed to a larger character, the way he is, everyone will cry that he's broken.
Yep.
It's a weird design choice that they've made to make him so large, and it throws a lot of people off because it makes it seem like he shouldn't do that much damage and that he's a little bit tankier, and that's just not the case.
It's not the case, but what is the case, which I really like about the player model, is how easy... Oh, the ult is going to miss, though, so Repikas able to turn that one around. FrostiaK feels good, then feels really bad.
Because he was off the screen there. They could not see him, and when that ring hits, Frosty's like, what the hell is that?
Oh, someone's over there? I'm going to go, and I'm going to miss my ult and get smoked.
Yeah, a little bit.
Felt really good, and then really bad.
But a kill for Repi puts him on the board. He's now at 4,400 gold, still about 700 behind his opponent. You can see FrostiaK with a 0-2-4 score, still pretty far ahead. Big time. What do we got here?
Suntouch looking for the big taunt, but instead just finds the CC immunity. EmilZy takes the brunt of ShadowNightmare's damage, unable to finish it off thanks to a good portal from Janus. Repi, on the other hand, able to take out the support. Suntouch, sit down, my friend. ShadowNightmare will retreat. But Cringe Crew find their 3rd kill of the contest, and they lose 0.
You know, when you see that many chains active on the ultimate, you think to yourself, something big's about to happen. Even if he doesn't pull, he's going to get so many sets of purification that we're going to be able to rock this. But what actually happens is, you know, Athena ult goes off, Vamana ult goes off, Fenrir ult goes off, and everyone's CC immune, everyone's spread out, and ShadowNightmare has a choice to pick from one of 3 tanky targets. In the end, doesn't really do all that much damage, and it's Repikas that gets the kill. Stolen. Trouble.
Stolen. Ah, we're going to get the teleport forward. Taunt, not available. 14 seconds on it, but it's just all about the damage from Chronos. Purification, can't find it, has to rewind. And the basics from EmilZy, not strong enough. The dash will be if he can find
Crippled!
it. Off the mark! EmilZy gets him with the long-range hit, but Suntouch cleans it up.
You know, in the beginning, I was going to say, you know, talking about this Ares pick is very strange to me.
Sure.
Because Geb has the peel. Ares has no peel. In fact, that was the best Ares could have peeled in that situation, and he still wound up dropping his teammate.
Yeah. Ares peels by making you run away.
Yeah, exactly. And
instead of forcing you to run away, you make the choice to.
And in a situation where Athena's like, well, I'm going to die anyway, might as well just go for the kill, Ares doesn't do anything. If that was a Geb, there was a knock-up, there could have been a Cataclysm, shield your boy, you know, do something.
But, I mean, this playstyle has been working out, just trying to be aggressive. Counter initiation and now as Dignitas gets a little randy.
Stolen?
Gotta find a way out. There's a taunt onto FrostiaK.
Not
Purification used, and
Nothing.
Suntouch up in the sky by himself. Deathiance pops the ult.
And goes right for it. I mean, he's already starting to do a fair amount of damage, but it looks like they're going to turn around and let this go. Even with the baby being in the big form, they don't want to deal with it just yet.
Yeah. Gotta play it safe. No mid lane tower here very early on. Dignitas was able to make their presence known, and now here comes the core, jungle, mid, support, all of which do tons of damage.
So Neith has Throwing Dagger, right? So let's go back to this a little bit. Now, Chronos is in a position where he has full Doom Orb and full boots. If they box, Neith needs 2 crits or she loses. Yeah, plain and simple.
Even with the Ichabod, which is, you know, that's the boxing item you buy.
Right.
But Neith, not the perennial boxer.
No.
Even if she uses... So a lot of people say, oh, you know, Neith doesn't have a steroid. Well, she's got a debuff, which can even the playing field, but not enough.
You know, there was a point in time where Neith wasn't very good.
When?
Middle of Season 2, beginning of Season 2-ish.
Sure.
maybe middle of season 1. I don't know. There's a point where no one was really playing her before she kind of came out, and I'm like, this debuff is really good. What if it maybe stole the attack speed? And then the next week, she was just in the meta and hasn't left.
I mean, at the
And
end
I'm
of the
glad they didn't do it.
At the end of the day, Neith is a character much like Agni to me, where there might be better picks in a particular meta or whatnot,
You
but
can't go wrong.
a stun from across the world is always good.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince me that World Weaver is ever poor. So, I don't know. I think she's always relevant.
A weave on the ground in the middle of a team fight, it just makes you behave differently. I don't know why people do this anymore. You can see the wireframe.
Old habits die hard.
If they can see you shooting, they can also see that you're not losing health. Maybe it's because they're thinking maybe they can hear me, but, I mean, other people would be attacking.
Very low already. Gonna go ahead and leash as Cringe Crew show up. Ultimate out of Janus. Rens will wait right for him. There's the ShadowNightmare. Not able to hit much of anybody except for EmilZy. Cringe Crew doing a great job of avoiding the damage out of the Raijin. And with that, really nothing comes of it. FrostiaK takes a spill, but nothing else on the side of the blue.
Yeah, Kero, very low. Will probably go back to the base here and heal up. He'll be able to get back very quickly. He is Janus. But, I don't know. 5-7. Cringe Crew not out of this just yet. It seemed pretty dire in the beginning with that 0-4 score.
Yep.
But Dignitas has not been able to really accomplish much since then. FrostiaK isn't getting the damage off. It's a very tanky team that he's fighting into, very mobile team, so it's hard for Nasha to really lock that down. And then without someone to set Nasha up, he doesn't really get much.
Also, just take a glance at the player damage. Chronos has rotated a couple of times, found himself with 2 assists, and 4,500 damage. Neith hasn't really done much of anything. Still with 3 assists, she's contributed 1,800. I think that's a big change.
Running back here, Shaggyshenk, as we talk about the duo lane, faces off against 2 with the help of EmilZy. EmilZy, I think, has been really the key. Despite the fact that he's 2-2-2 and behind 2 levels, he has made so many attempts to peel and so many successful ults to keep his team alive. Whereas we're seeing Suntouch be very aggressive, but they're generally losing people and not winning team fights because the setup from Ares is a little bit more predictable.
It was working out in the early game. Here's where transitioning with 14 on the clock. We're transitioning into this mid-game. Suntouch has waned in, or Suntouch's Ares specifically has waned in effectiveness, but I expect a turnaround again as he starts to get more tanky. Because that's what happens to Ares in this early mid-game, where early game he's just a powerhouse because chains hurt a lot. And then once you start making your way towards mid, people just turn on him. And right now he's looking for the Fenrir. Gonna use the purification to get rid of that one.
He's dead.
It's on cooldown. He's coming back, boys!
Wait, the taunt! Oh, but the mesmerized ShadowNightmare. How did he not get taunted?
He did not. Sanctuary immunes the damage from Janus. ShadowNightmare has eyes all over his head. Uses the utility out of Raijin very well. Gonna fall here. Deathiance gets credit for that. 2 kills out of the substitute solo laner.
And the Fox doesn't go off either. You can see Raiju's little icon above Deathiance as he waddles his way back to the solo lane. Wow. Okay, another point where Cringe Crew are able to go 1-for-1, and they lost their jungler for a mid lane who was 5-1 at the time. I'd be yelling worth on that one.
Deathiance definitely showing up. As I said, I'm a friend of his. I did not expect any sort of relevancy out of his solo lane, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just, and that's less a knock at him and more a show of respect towards the overall talent level of the SPL.
Yeah.
Even a team like Dignitas that is considered one of the weaker teams, they're going to beat you up if you don't play at a top level.
No, sure. I mean, when we say that a team, is weaker, we say in comparison to Panthera.
It's relative.
In comparison to Luminosity.
Make no bones about it. These guys will beat up you and your friends on the Tier Monster tournament. Like, that's going to happen. But, in juxtaposition to some of the other teams. But
You just spoiled it. Dignitas was entering the Tier Monster tournament this week.
Oh, snap. Were they really?
No, man, I don't even think they do those anymore.
You fooled me! You fooled me!
I told you, I celebrate April Fools until June.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of the holiday. It's not fair it only gets one day.
Kevin, can you come up here? I don't know if I upgraded. 16 on the clock. We're approaching 17. And you talk about June. That's when DreamHack's happening.
Oh, dude, I'm so hyped.
I'm very excited for DreamHack. If you guys haven't heard, you've been living under a rock. Smite will be at DreamHack along with Paladins. And we will be seeing the top teams from each region, North America and Europe. They will be playing the end of their spring split there. So
I'm so pumped for it because it's an esports festival is what it is. You have your CSGOs and your other MOBAs. Like, there's a lot going on. Oh, speaking of a lot going on, Suntouch looking for 2. We'll get neither. In some trouble here. Is going to be brought back. No tap. tower, and there comes ShadowNightmare for the cleanup.
Love ShadowNightmare following suit. Sunny gets credit for the kill on the Repikas, but watch how that played out. And Dignitas going to try and keep it going. TheDarkDodo slams down on Shaggyshenk. Sanctuary is going to make him live for the moment. FrostiaK off the mark. So that Chronos alive and well. ShadowNightmare spacing himself out so well. Rens cleans up the damage from Raijin as he finds himself on top 9, 4, 10, 13 now, as the Raijin has been able to tear it up. The Gold Fury on the sights.
Yeah, this is going to be a free one, too. No one's even in the vicinity. I think the only saving grace that Cringe Crew had in that was the fact that there was a point where Shaggy could have done an 8-second rewind, gotten all of his health back, thrown some crazy stop time, and then just dipped the hell out of there by using Accelerate in the right spot. Instead, he winds up just running to the tower, playing in the safe zone, hitting that Ollie Ollie Oxen free, and just heading back to the base.
Love the play from ShadowNightmare as well. Suntouch goes ahead, grabs no one, like you mentioned, right? And then the obvious follow-up as Shaggyshenk gets dove all the way back.
Gone.
So Repikas picks up the target in his mouth, right, and brings him directly to Janus. Okay, we all seen this. Except you're all going to be mezzed when I say so, and then I'll kill you on top of it. ShadowNightmare making the clutch plays.
ShadowNightmare should have this kill. Deathiance, oh no, they're not going to commit here? He is out of mana.
He's got the Urchin available. 3 stacks looks like already on it. Call him Andre. Definitely up there. 2, 1, and 1 on the only member of Cringe Crew that finds himself on the top end of the damage charts.
EmilZy is annoying ShadowNightmare, and ShadowNightmare decides he's going to take the bait and rush forward and deal a whole bunch of his health. Really, I think they should just lane swap for this wave. Have Guan, you go mid, get ready for the next objective, and allow him to push this and then back. But this is a little bit of an awkward trade.
Take the wave! Oh, Deathiance is there. I always get so, like, antsy when I see a wave just disappear to each other.
It's just wasted experience.
Exactly.
It's wasted gold.
The map doesn't have a stake in this game. You should win. You should go for the kill.
Interesting new mechanics that Fdot's spoiling. Map now has a stake in the game.
Yeah, if too many minions kill each other, all of a sudden the stage turns into Pokemon Stadium from Melee and just starts changing and you fall into, like, a windmill trap. It's awful. It's a bad spot. You don't want to see that.
And it interrupts. Like, if you're on the ground and the ground changes, like, Ares' ult will get canceled. It's this whole big thing. I
mean, God forbid you're over there on the... that'd be interesting. 30 minutes, game's too long.
Speaking of Ares' ult.
Suntouch trying to end things himself. ShadowNightmare not going to show up for that one.
Wow, he gets 2 ults for his one. That's a pretty big win.
That's what, like, at the high level, that's what Ares does. Low level, everybody just gets pulled. But at the high level, when you know how to CC immune, you're less looking for the pulls and more looking for the what can I get out of this? How many beads can I burn? How many ults can I get rid of? That's what I want to see as an Ares.
But Ares does not have any type of cooldown reduction. So if he doesn't fight soon, and it looks like he's gonna, it's actually going to be a pretty big negative.
ShadowNightmare trying to deal the damage, able to take out Shaggy before the rewind. Here comes the Dodo, walks right on through. EmilZy cut down a half HP. Suntouch on the outskirts, waiting for his cooldowns to come back up. Going to play it safe for just a moment. Here comes the chains. They're back up. No dash from Deathiance, but it's fine. He'll stand here. Blink forward again. Ultimate off the mark. FrostiaK can't find it.
Yeah, FrostiaK put himself in a really bad spot, too. Trying to be fancy and sash back in. He wound up just taking a little bit of damage for it. Nice shot, but not going to be enough as they just burn forward. Look at this. Cringe Crew doing a ton of damage. Deathiance, again, finds one in the rough, but I don't know if he's going to get much more than that, if anything.
Dignitas turns their sights away from the big baby. Instead, looks at the Tier 2 tower. Dignitas, specifically, Suntouch and ShadowNightmare running this game.
Yeah, big time.
Suntouch with nigh 100% kill participation. Same scenario for the mid laner. Very, very close to it. And they're able to pick up a Phoenix uncontested 21 minutes into the first game.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this Ares is forcing out different versions of CC immunity, and like I said, if he doesn't fight soon, he's going to be in trouble. He does. He then forces the fight onto Shaggy, who didn't get his rewind off. He knew that Janus wasn't going to have his ult. He knew that Fenrir wouldn't have his ult, even with CDR. He's not going to have a way to get away from another big rush. So ShadowNightmare starts these giant AoE attacks that they can't avoid, and even though Repi had a great sanctuary in the fight, by baiting out that Raiju attack, his team still took a fair amount, and it resulted in a pretty big win for Dignitas, now up 6 kills and what I imagine is a lot of gold.
I like the play coming out from Raijin building the Warlock Sash second. Doom Orb, super cheap, everybody likes it. And if you want to go defensive, people have been opting instead for the Helm. But by going the Warlock Sash, you're protected, one, against both schools of magic, magical and physical, because it just offers a whole chunk of HP. And you're also worried about magical.
Over towards the right side. Suntouch setting up. Where is EmilZy right now? Taking damage from FrostiaK.
Still looking around. EmilZy's just going to wait back here.
What are they doing over here? Just like grouping up, just controlling the jungle?
Yeah, they're just stomping around. They're looking for Deathiance by himself. EmilZy will show up to help out. ShadowNightmare forced up into the ult to get rid of any sort of taunt. Deathiance is still wrecking it, though. They're in between a tier 1 and a tier 2. This is where the fight is. EmilZy, he's going to survive for the moment. TheDarkDodo finishes him. FrostiaK takes out Kero. Now, FrostiaK falls. Repi answers quickly.
Wow, and that combo, that 2-3 combo we've seen from so many different Raijin players. ShadowNightmare executing it perfectly there, finding another kill. Sanctuary to stop some of the damage. Walking away, trying for it. Suntouch misses the peel opportunity. They're turning on ShadowNightmare, and it looks like he's going to get away and kill Shaggyshenk? What?
Raijin just played that.
F6.
Shaggyshenk played that
It's
so
done.
well. Excuse me, ShadowNightmare.
That... You can give all the props you want. That was a sloppy, disgusting team fight, and if Dignitas still came out of that 4-1, it's just slam on the keyboard, dude. It's done. The game is done.
Sure, I give you that. I give you that. That was definitely sloppy on the side. On
everyone, it was crazy. There was just AoE abilities everywhere.
You get hit by that slow time. You can hit the Sanctuary beforehand.
That was dope.
Have 10 HP and dance around your teammates and still deal damage out to get a kill.
It was good.
That's what I like to see.
I mean, there was definitely
team fight
skill.
is a whole issue.
There was definitely skill. Yeah. I mean, ShadowNightmare bodied that fight. I mean, right from the beginning of the ult. Although he did miss the first Raiju, the second one was incredible. Yeah. The third one was incredible. But the problem here is that Dignitas just made like 6-7 mistakes in one team fight, and Cringe Crew still got bodied in that team fight. That's the end of the game for me.
351-056-245-023 at the slash lines for everybody.
You just gave out my phone number. Thanks, man.
For everybody but Deathiance on the side of Cringe Crew. So that's where a lot of their issues are starting from. Fire Giant will be finished up by Team Dignitas, and Cringe Crew is going to pay for showing their face.
That hurts. Another missed ultimate from FrostiaK. I really hope he doesn't run Nasha back for game 2, because this has been woo.
Yeah, I mean, the character's not like all characters aren't for all players, and FrostiaK has not been on the money with this Naja. Luckily for him, his team has been able to do all the heavy lifting.
See, this is why me and Hindu Man were talking yesterday about the Kumbhakarna ult, which is funny because if you miss it, you don't get that great knock-up sound. You get a boom, 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 and that's the sound I want on every missed ultimate. A Nasha, whoosh, boom, 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 every time, man. That's all we'd hear this game.
We get the classic trombone.
That was pretty good. Right side Phoenix about to respawn, and they're ready for it. Right as the bird is blinking, ooh, that just died very quickly.
And it's down. See you later.
All 5 are up right now as Kero respawns, excuse me. They're probably going to go for, I would say they should have went for the Gold Fury here on the way back, just for a little bit of extra gold. They had about 8,000 gold in hand overall, which is pretty strong.
8,000 gold in hand, yeah, that'll do it. Let's take a look at the graphs just to see that ridiculous 5-digit number. 12,337.
And look at this. The experience difference, there's only, 3 level 20s. FrostiaK still 2 levels ahead. Deathiance keeping pace. Kero 3 levels behind. EmilZy 3 levels behind. Shaggyshenk a level behind. And then the gold difference is astronomical, plus the Fire Giant at this point. If Dignitas lose this game, I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're definitely in the position to go ahead and win this, excuse me. It's really just up to when. What do they look for? Fire Giant, they have it. Gold Fury, they don't need it. They just look for the Phoenix.
The one Phoenix that's up. They have literally one objective on the map that matters before the Titan. And they have a ton of AoE damage. They have great control. And Ares, let's talk about Ares. Yep. If this was a reversed mechanic, Ares would be useless. Athena still has some use here, but Suntouch at level 18, he's impossible to kill, has a ton of damage, great control with bolstered defenses for CCR. His damage is still pretty high, and he has an ultimate that's just going to burn people.
And that's what he's been doing. He's been able to not just play Initiator, but also has been able to deal a lot of the damage. The bolstered defenses is here. He's going to find Repi, answered with the ultimate. Everybody looking towards EmilZy now, heading towards the Phoenix itself. Repikas taking damage. Dignitas not afraid to shy away from the objective and look towards the players. immune out the Raijin damage thanks to some smart sanctuaries.
So they wait there the whole time. They don't want to take the fight immediately because they want their fire creeps to start moving up, and that's what happens. They have 2 waves of fire minions and all 3 Phoenixes down. As this fight continues to rage, you see Cringe Crew trying to fight back as the team seems fragmented. Deathiance in the back line might have an opportunity for a kill. Rens dodges the Umbrella Ring, dodges it on the way back, and the flames are out. She backflips, and it's going to be a kill for FrostiaK, as I imagine the last point of hope in Deathiance's heart has been just completely extinguished.
Cringe Crew now have to defend the onslaught of a team almost 20,000 gold up with a fire giant with no Phoenixes available. Dignitas, they definitely have the boot on the throat of Cringe Crew.
They should be able to do this. Rens finds himself back over half health as he throws a beautiful Unravel. We look at Rens here. As EmilZy looks like he's going to be going down. Kill for Suntouch. Onto the Titan. Looks pretty clean here. Under 3,000. This should be the first game. Cringe Crew. Yes, they're lacking Zashu, but solo wasn't the issue. Dignitas, game 1.
Yeah, Dignitas wind up on top, and as you said, I think solo was not the issue. Deathiance showed up, came to play, and the rest of his team didn't.
Repi had a very notably weak game there, and that's important for all of you out there playing the home game, doing the FP. You know, we look at Repikas as not only a leader, but a person who's like making these shot calls. Right. Maybe Fenrir might have been the issue, but I was expecting iRes to be the issue, and it's the opposite. Yeah,
not an issue at all. As I said, definitely fits Suntouch's playstyle, very aggressive, and as you noted towards the end of the game, with a huge lead like that, you just can't do anything about it. Why don't we take a look at some of the plays that iRes was able to pull off in this game, starting very early, 17 minutes in.
Now, he got a few points of CC immunity there, and then ShadowNightmare comes in out of nowhere. Repikas gets just destroyed, and then right away, Suntouch immediately gets the chains back.
Look at this one as well. Just able to sit sort of like on the outskirts of the fight and just rotate that AoE damage.
Dude, he just doesn't miss with these chains.
Suntouch on the money. Really doing it.
Oh, he missed with the chains.
Yeah.
That's a shame. But look at this. ShadowNightmare's like, all right, you missed one. I got you, homie. No problem.
That was the real duo for me, was Sunny and Shadow.
Oh, my God. And right there, a Repikas in CC immunity while trying to go through a portal, and Suntouch does enough damage to allow his team to get the kill.
Yep. I mean, that's what iRes is all about, lowering the kill threshold and serving up kills on a platter to the team that certainly capitalized.